And we're live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another week of Showtime with Jordan Von Haslow and friends. Today, we have someone who's actually been here with us before, but not actually in the studio. She called in on our very first number. My good friend, the diva, the illustrious, Ann Carwell.
Hello.
How are you, my darling?
I am so good. How are you?
I am fantastic.
You look great. Jordan.
Thank you.
So great to see you.
You look fabulous
seen you
too.
In a while.
I know it's been a minute.
Yeah.
Like literally a minute.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
I need to be interviewing you. What have you been doing, Diva?
Oh my goodness. What haven't I been doing? There are no words to talk about. Like, we only have an hour.
We've got an hour.
We need more than an hour to talk about everything that I've been doing. I've been in
Second
LA. I've been
segment,
here.
baby.
Like,
Second
seriously.
segment. Yeah.
Yeah, seriously. So, like, I want to introduce you to the audience. Ann, when I first met you, I learned a little bit about what you had done, and I said, oh my goodness.
And you didn't believe me.
I didn't believe you. I didn't believe. And I was like, oh my goodness, this woman was the soundtrack to like
Your whole
my
Spotify?
adolescent and like
Oh,
early
God.
20s lives.
You're really telling my age.
I'm not. You were a child prodigy.
Pretty much.
But no, Ann is like one of the greatest singers and vocal arrangers of all time. She's worked with everyone in the world, but we're not even going to talk about that. Let's talk about what you're doing right now. What's going on in your life?
Oh, well, I got a little cold right now, so I'm kind of wrapped up pretty tight and warm. But I am actually getting ready to do a session for a pretty famous rapper,
Ooh.
which he's doing a tribute to Kobe. I don't know if you remember the song by the Shy Lights when Toby went away.
A little bit before my time.
Oh, yeah, it was before your time.
No. But I'm sure my parents loved it.
Oh,
No,
yeah. Oh, thank you. That's okay. That's okay. I'm still in the now, But he's doing a tribute, instead of Toby's using when Kobe went away. So I got that coming up, doing some session stuff. And I have been doing something that I have been missing since probably the 70s, and that is
eating.
That too. And eating good. Being in a real band.
Yeah.
That's something I missed, through the years, of like doing my own stuff versus doing like top 40 stuff now.
Yeah. And it's a good band too. Treasure and Dreamstone is hot.
Oh,
I've been
yes.
to so many of their shows. I feel like I'm an honorary member. Like I know all the dance steps.
Yeah, you're like the
and I know all the
banner for the show
songs.
now.
And they're like the hottest band that plays
Yes.
all of the places around here in Vegas. And you
Yes.
guys were in New Mexico last week or this
Albuquerque,
weekend, this
yeah,
past
this weekend.
weekend. And you previously were up in, what's it called? Windmere?
Windover.
Windover. You guys are everywhere, and you guys are amazing. And it's so
Thank you.
funny because every time I tell somebody, because like I'll be going or I'll be like at the Tuscany or something, and I'm like, oh my God, I need to go up to like
Right.
the Esther. I need to go to the Cannery. They're like, oh, what are you doing over there? I'm like, oh, my friends in Treasure's band. They're like, oh my God, I love Treasure. And so-
Yeah, he's fantastic, man. He is truly a superstar dude.
Yeah.
I mean, I love what I like about this band is it's not like any other regular band when you go see a band. It's like a whole full on production.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't did crisscrosses and splits and jumps in like 30 years,
What was the tell me this before Treasure? What was the last band you were in? I'm not going to ask you when. We don't want to date you. But what was the last band you were in? And what was like the song that you guys sang performed at every?
Oh God. Well, you mean my situation or just band?
Well, just band. You said you haven't been in a band and you haven't
Well, the
crisscrossed.
last band I was in was, back home in Minneapolis, Minnesota, when I was with Enterprise, Band of Pleasure, which that band was like Treasure and Dreamstone back then.
Yeah.
You couldn't get through any clubs or anything without checking with us. We had the top, baddest musicians,
Yeah.
Do you know who we had in our band,
Who?
bro?
No, I don't. I wasn't there.
Morris Day was the drummer.
Okay.
Alexander O'Neill was the lead singer with me.
Oh my goodness.
Before all the, you know.
Yeah.
Jesse Johnson came up. I found Jesse Johnson in Rock Island at a bar called the Yankee Clipper one night.
Oh my goodness.
And told him he should come to Minneapolis, and he was in the band.
This sounds like the making of a reality show.
Pretty much. And then
we
one
should put
day,
all you in a house.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a new reality show. We could put you all in a house, and you have to start a new band together.
That would be the oldest band. We would be so cantankerous. It would not be good, man. We would be so angry and bitter probably together. You know, because we'd all think that we'd have to get paid the same.
Right.
You know, but, and then about maybe 2 weeks later, somebody knocks on the door, and it was Prince. Yeah. Hey, is Morris here? You know, he's still mad at me, but that's a whole nother segment.
Morris or Prince?
Well, Prince was asking for Morris Day.
Well, who's mad at you, Morris or Prince?
Prince.
Prince is still mad at you.
Well, he was for a long time.
We'll get to
and
that.
he came downstairs and like took my whole band. He took Jesse, he took Morris, and he took Alex.
Oh, so then it was just you.
It was just me and like Jeffrey McGraven, who's a great bass player, Marie Holmes, and I don't even remember who the other people were. Took my band, so we had to do all this replacing, and I think I left and, you know, started, pursuing my own situation, you know, records and all of that stuff.
So as someone who, like, you've had a really interesting career in the sense that you've been in bands, you've been a solo artist, you've been a backup artist. Do you have a
session singer?
Do you have like a preference of like, okay, if like one of these things has to be what I do for the rest of my life, like this is the lane that I love being in?
You know, honestly, I always wanted to do anything that involved music. So I don't really have a preference. I just, if it's music,
then you're doing it.
Whatever you want to do, you know. So even though I was a solo artist, I was, you know, doing all of this stuff, I still had other hustles going.
Yeah.
Because I'm a hustler.
Yeah.
You know, by nature. Just growing up in Minneapolis, Minnesota, you know, all we did was in bands was rehearse for like 15 hours and no pay.
Yeah.
You know? So, you know, I just decided.
Some things never change.
Some things never change. But I decided, I said, you know what? If I'm going to do I want to do everything in music. I want to conquer everything.
Yeah.
So my last real thing that I conquered for me was being back to the original authenticness of being in a band.
Yeah.
And not like a two-piece sandwich band. Like back in the 70s and 80s, they were like 9 pieces. And I'm now in an 8-9-piece band.
That's like so, especially in this town, like there are no big bands anymore.
Right.
Like it's always like little, either like a quartet or a trio,
Exactly.
or maybe they might bring some pieces and then like for specific gigs because they get the budget for it and then they like get rid of them.
Right.
But the fact that you guys are like this big unit is
Yes.
like really amazing. And you guys get in like I always envision when you're telling me we're getting in like the van, I always picture do you remember Scooby-Doo and like the magic van, the van that they used to
they
drive
all
it?
jump in.
That's what I always envision you guys as
Pretty much
being.
like that. Yeah. But it's actually fun because I miss that part of my younger years being in bands in Minnesota, North Side, Minneapolis.
Yeah.
You know, now it's like the whole tour and it's like, you know, get on this plane and schluck your, you know, luggage and bring your mic, you know, and bada bing, bada bada, everything is kind of done for you.
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of like going back to like carry the mic. You know, it's just cool. I like that. I mean, to be in this band, you'd have to really have like a lot of energy.
Yeah.
Because Treasure has tons of energy.
Yeah.
You know, he's like he's like more competitive to himself than anything, and that's what I love. You know?
And you guys, I like watching you guys like high kick, and it's like an aerobics, like it's like jazzercise.
Yeah, and it's like 4 or 5, 3 or 4 nights a week, and then my girlfriend calls me and she says, we need to join the gym. I'm like,
you're like, no, you need to
join my gym. I'm working out every night. Oh. She said, you're right. I said, yeah, it's a lot of work. But it's great. So I'm in that band. I'm doing that.
Yeah.
And right now, I just enjoy, if I had something that I wanted to do, it would be nothing.
It would be
if I had no.
You're a woman of my own heart.
Yes, I like comfortability and peacefulness. For me, it's been a lifelong survival mode, hustling, competitiveness. Record deals, touring, meeting people on the way.
Yeah.
It was a lot. Now I just like the peace of like following direction from my boss.
You don't have to think about it. You don't have to worry about it.
I don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about like what is happening or what am I going to do or what am I supposed to be doing or what do I. Yeah, no, I understand that.
He's great to work with.
I can appreciate that.
The whole band is. Oh, shout out to my band, Dreamstone and Treasure. Hey.
Holla.
Wendy. Sabrina.
Wendy is so fun. I really like her.
Isn't she beautiful?
Wendy is Wendy's also in the band and she does all the high kicks and the crisscrosses and the jumps.
I do crisscross and high kicks, bro.
No, I said with you. Like she's the other hello.
I thought you said Wendy.
No, I'm saying Wendy is the other person in the band who also does
Here comes the fight.
Oh my God! You can't say anything to this woman. No,
Wendy's great. What I love about Wendy is really humble. She's one of the humbled singers.
Yeah,
I love a humbled singer because, especially when
there's
they're
not
like,
too many of us.
especially when they're like a secretly beast of a singer.
Yeah,
like she's like that, humbled in the corner, but if you let her loose. Like, I love the fact that I'm with her because I let her shine.
Yeah.
I want her to shine. I done been there, done that, and don't have a problem if I got to pull out some stops, I'll do that.
Yeah.
But the thing about her is that she is a quiet beast who can sing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Never out of key, never flat. Knows her harmonies. You know what I mean?
Like she's just always on.
She's always on.
But in a very authentic way. Like not in like that like musical theater like hello.
Yeah, no. Yeah. She's just very, very on and just very, consistent in everything that she's doing. She's great, man. The whole band is great.
That's awesome.
I love this band.
Yeah. So last time you were here, we talked a bit about your time with Prince and how you met him and you fell down the stairs.
Thanks
and all
a lot.
that. Anytime.
Oh, speaking of falling down the stairs, I heard you did a fabulous show yesterday.
I did a wonderful show yesterday. But then, was DJ Pump? What's his name? Thump?
I think it's
Thrump.
I don't know.
I don't know. Well, some DJ was hosting the damn show, and midway through, I was at Fremont Street Experience, right? And I was performing for the Taste of Sound and Soul and Sounds,
right?
Which apparently is in its 19th year on Fremont Street, even though no one seems to have ever heard of it. And I was invited to do my show from New York, celebrating Nat King Cole, which was nominated for 3 Broadway World Awards. By the way,
congratulations.
Thank you. Mm-hmm. I didn't win, but that's a whole other show.
Yeah, that's okay. You still won. You're still a winner.
Exactly. And so I came in and it was really, really wonderful. And about 20 minutes into my set, this fat motherfucker comes over to me. What's his name? DJ
I don't
whatever.
know.
And he's like, okay, well, you know what? You need to wrap this up because we have to keep this rolling. I have never in my life had that experience. Have you ever had that experience?
No.
Is it horrible?
No, it would be quite.
It was really, really horrible. I've never had that experience.
No,
and
I
even
did have that experience
Yeah.
with Mary J. Blige.
Oh, she told you to wrap it up.
Her
We got to keep it.
Yeah.
Did she wait? So what was the situation? What was the scenario?
We were in New York doing. It was a place called Jack the Rapper. It was every year. All of the artists would go down there to Jack the Rapper. We perform. And so one year I went down there. I was promoting my album on MCA, Blue Velvet, and had, it's a great album. Had some really bomb producers, Jesse Mtume, Atlantic Star, Robert Brookins, great producers. Went down there. So we all had to rehearse. Me, her.
Right.
Mary J. Blige just came out with the 411.
Uh-huh.
Me,
I used
her.
to love that.
Yeah.
I remember when that, I remember when that CD came through Columbia House. Remember Columbia House?
Yeah,
They'd mail you your
absolutely.
thing and you'd open up the thing. And I remember, and I used to love it. What's the 411, huh?
Yeah. Oh, you're good.
I got
Okay.
it going.
All right.
I used to love that.
So, anyway, we were in a rehearsal.
Yeah.
Mary J. Blige, Yo-Yo, me.
Yo-Yo,
Brotherhood
that's a
Creed.
name I haven't heard in
I
a really
know,
long
right?
time.
But she's so beautiful, man. When you see her, she's like, just looks so good.
Yeah. Still? I mean, because this is
Yes.
back then, right?
Still looks great.
Okay.
Brotherhood Creed and Gene Wilder back then.
Gene Wilder?
Yeah.
Like the actor?
No, the singer. You don't know him. You weren't even born.
Well, I remember
But
Gene Wilder was like the
No, he's
Charlie and the Chocolate Factory, and he
Yeah.
did all the movies
He's
with
not the guy.
different guy.
Yeah, he's
Why
the
do
same.
people do that? Every now and then there'll be people like artists, like particularly music artists, who then
It
like
might
take
have been
on the
Gene
name.
Wild.
Okay, that sounds better. Because
Yeah.
like, why would you take on the name of someone who's already famous?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I'm
So-
sorry I interrupted
It's
you.
okay.
Go ahead.
We were in rehearsal. Everybody had rehearsed. Everybody. So I came up there, and we were actually working with the CC Factory band.
Oh, I liked them.
You know what I'm saying? We
Yeah.
were working with the band, and some of Lisa's band.
I saw her for the first time live a couple years ago
Yeah.
at the Greek in
I
LA.
loved her.
Oh my God, she was amazing.
Ooh, I think I love you.
From head to toe. Yeah, she, I went to
loved
the
her.
I went to the, and we'll go back to what you were saying, but I went to the freestyle festival because I
Nice.
was doing some work with Salt and Pepper's management team. We were working on this television thing, and so they were like, "Oh my God, we're going to be in LA. You have to come." And it was a freestyle festival, so it was Salt and Pepper, Lisa, Stevie B, and I forget who the fourth artist
Stevie
was.
B.
Yeah,
I know
So
that
fun.
had to have been hot though.
it was so
Yeah.
fun. But anyways, you were
So
working
anyway,
with
I'm
on the
rehearsing. I go up there. I'm rehearsing my record. I'm on, trying to get the band. I don't even think they even played the record or rehearsed the music or anything, because it was a whole we had to start from scratch.
yeah.
In no more than 30 minutes, her management comes up to me right as I'm singing, and it's like, "Excuse me, you're gonna have to wrap it up. Mary's coming to rehearse." And I was like, "Who's Mary?" Oh yeah, that's the chick who stole my career. No. Anyway, yeah. So I just kind of looked at her, in dismay. I was stunned.
Yeah.
So
I might post the video from yesterday because it was,
I
I've
would.
never in my entire life been a part of something that was so disorganized. And because let me tell you, we came out and I want to hear, actually finish telling your story,
So
and I'll
long
tell you about
story
my
short-
experience.
Long story short, I told him I was going to finish my rehearsal and Mary was going to have to wait. And so Mary came out and came over to me. I had these long braids and said, "Are you with the group Black Box?" I was like, "No, my name is Ann Carwell." She's like, "Oh, okay." And she says, "Nice to meet you. I'm Mary." She's, I like Mary. So, they were kind of looking at me like, "You need to get off the stage." I just kept rehearsing.
You're like, sorry, I got to.
Yeah,
I've got to.
I got a record too.
Right? Hello, holla.
So that's my story.
Well,
So
mine
tell
was a
me
little
yours.
more because it was so bizarre, right? Because I was invited to do this thing. I was invited to do my show, and I think that the music of this particular festival was supposed to start at noon, and I was supposed to go on at 12:15. And so I had my pianist, and we're waiting outside. And yesterday was so windy. I don't know if you were probably still coming back from wherever you guys were.
Exactly.
But it was so windy, and they had all of these children who were like a part of a dance troupe performing. No, I hate children.
I know you.
Children and pets are not in my lease. And so, and I remember when I first saw them because I was in the green room, and all of a sudden this group of kids come in, and then more kids come in, And then more kids come in, and I go to my pianist. I'm like, okay, we got to get out of here. Like, we're going to catch the coronavirus or something. And so.
With the kids,
oh my
Jordan?
goodness. With the kids. I hate kids. That's another song.
So mean.
Oh, not mean. It's honest.
Well,
Talk
I
to me when you.
wanted kids either. through my
Exactly.
career.
And now you're
I
a mother of
understand
two,
it.
and you
Yeah.
love your babies and
Love
all
them.
of that.
Oh my
yeah.
God.
I don't want any.
And you love my girls.
Oh my God, your girls are fabulous.
Yeah, you love
You know why?
Why?
Because they're over 21. Now, if we had met
that
15
makes a
years ago,
difference.
if we had met 15 years ago, I'd be like, oh, see when I'll catch you later.
Oh God. So.
But no, so we go on, and so we're waiting. I'm like, I can't stand there in the green room with all these children and like their parents, and everyone's running around, and so we're just kind of waiting backstage in the wings, and they come out, and they're all doing it's some like nonprofit dance troupe, and so it's all really cute because this is like some Black History Festival, and it's like community focused and all that crap, and they're doing their thing, and like the one crew comes out and they're all in like red sequins. They're like 8-year-olds in red sequins.
Can you wrap it
and
up,
they
please?
do a dancer to no, I'm telling the story. It's my goddamn show.
But it's supposed to be me.
Well, you asked me to tell you what happened. Nevertheless,
I'm just playing.
Nonetheless, DJ Trump or whatever the hell his name is.
DJ, what's his name?
I don't know what the hell his name is, but apparently he's kind of big here. But until I get a public apology, he's on my shit list. That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And until I get like it was a really horrific it was a horrific experience.
Yes.
I've never in my entire life been contracted to do a show, been basically interrupted mid-set and asked to stop my show. And then
where was
no one was around. In fact, the person who was supposed to be managing the stage, the woman who runs the whole thing, her assistant was back hanging out with her daughter in the green room. And then after I got off the stage, I find her and I'm like, hey, what the hell was that? And she's like, oh, well, first of all, she runs up to me. She's like, hey, I want to introduce you to my daughter. I'm like, yeah. What the hell was that?
Yeah.
And she's like, what are you talking about? And I tell her, and she's like, I don't know.
Oh,
maybe you should talk to, and like everyone kind of like, it was horrible.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about me.
Well, I'm sorry that you had to go through
Yeah,
that.
it was stupid.
Sometimes you just have to, I'm just a person who, I don't just do anything.
You just said you like doing nothing. So you're like,
yeah.
In fact, I don't do anything.
But as far as, when people want me to do gigs or something like, I have to check the whole situation out first.
Yeah.
Charities is not something that I do.
Yeah.
Because I always, I understand that some, there are charities that are good charities.
Mm.
But if you're just having a charity because you're trying to raise some computers for a guitar for some kids,
just give them the money and buy the damn guitar.
Money and buy the guitar. I mean, my daughter used to have because my daughter had sickle cell chronically.
Mm-hmm.
Almost passed away in 2015.
Oh,
she
wow.
was 15 years old. 2005.
Mm-hmm.
And Kiki Shepard from
Showtime
at
the Apollo.
She used to give these huge events for Paisley.
In LA?
Yeah. We'd have there would be every actor there. But the difference is they had money for the charity.
Yeah.
And they had a budget for the band.
Well, and that's what's so ironic because I was here doing this janky event, and in LA, the EAA, the Entertainment Aid Alliance, which is the nonprofit, 30-year-old nonprofit that I'm the board president of, they were having a fundraiser at Hamburger Mary's WeHo. It's a really fun journey, and we raised a lot of money, and that was kind of like the irony of the situation.
Right.
Here I was doing
I heard
this,
that
and
you raised a lot of money.
We did raise a lot of money, and we do it every quarter,
great.
and it's going to be, and it was always really fun. And we actually had a lot of really great people and organizations donate. Activision Blizzard gave us video games, and who else came through for us? So many people came through for us. Redline Tours gave us like these Hollywood behind the scenes tours.
Yeah.
My good friend Creighton, who's like the hairstylist to the stars.
Gotcha. Yeah,
he gave us this $300 blow dryer to auction off. Have you ever blown dried your hair with a $300 blow dryer?
Well, I probably had it done for me with
because if you haven't, my friend, you have not lived.
Oh,
it's amazing.
I'm so happy that I know you're very consistent. That's the one thing that I love about you. You're consistent. You are no joke when it comes to getting things done and getting what you want.
I appreciate that.
I love that about you.
Yeah.
You know, I love people like that.
Yeah.
You know, people who are go-getters and, you know. But anyway.
Anywho, back to you, my dear. So last time you were here, you were telling us a bit about your time working with Prince, right? And for those of you who didn't catch our very first show, Sue Ann was the first artist that Prince worked with before Vanity, before who else did he work with? Everybody, all those people. Yes. It was you and Prince, and he wanted to change your name to Susie Stone, and you said screw you, and you went and got a record deal with Warner Brothers and did your own thing.
He actually was the one who really got the record deal.
Yeah.
You know, in our town, there wasn't really a lot. There wasn't somebody there that kind of like pushed us out. Hey, you know, but except a few white guys. Mm-hmm. One was Owen Husney, who was great, and who he, you know, Chris Moon and Peppy Willie and a couple of, you know, and these guys went and sought after Prince and really, like, you know, helped him to polish his thing. And after he got my deal, he seen me in a club and was like, I want to work with you. And so we worked together. And he's like, I want to get you a deal. But when they took the demo that we did to Warner Brothers, you know, the guy Russ Thyrett and them, they were like Moss. And he was like, she sounds like you. So, hashtag that.
So how did you end up?
I ended up coming back.
Okay.
And being in the band.
Okay.
But it wasn't the Revolution yet.
Right.
So it was really me, Andre.
So it was the evolution.
It was the evolution about to begin. Me, Andre, Prince, Matt Fink, and Bobby Z, and Gail Chapman was in the group. But I didn't want to really like become a percussion conga player, and that's because I played drums. My family is drummers and percussion players. So I kind of already had a feel of it, so it was kind of like easy.
Right.
So he hired this guy to train me really, you know. But I wasn't really interested. I wanted to be a lead singer.
Yeah.
That's what I was born to do.
Yeah.
So I went and did my thing, and he was really pissed.
Really?
Yeah, he was upset. So his managers, who ended up departed, came in and saw me in another club, took me out and said, we have a deal for you. And I was like, what? I was like, don't you have to do a demo? Oh, you already did one. We have the deal for you. I was like, okay. So started, just started from there.
Yeah.
17, 18, but it's all not peaches and roses, in this business. This business can either make you or break you. You have to be built.
Yeah, totally.
Thank God that I went through all the headaches in the beginning of my career, like getting dropped from Warner Brothers and all of that stuff. I mean, it was devastating because, I was just wanting to get out of the projects in Minnesota and just, but the fortunate thing is that I stuck with it, and my faith just brought me through all of that. But
that's the key, sticking to it. Barbara, I don't know if you've met Barbara Brighton. She came and joined us last week, and that's one of the things that we bonded over because she when we first met, she was talking. I was like, well, hey, you're still in the game. And she's like, yeah, that's what it's about, just staying in the game. Yeah,
just staying in the now and staying in. What people don't know is that my growing up was horrific. Mm-hmm. I mean, I left home at 10 years old. Yeah. I mean, never went home. And stayed at my best friend's under her bed and just never went home. And
it was like just okay, like no one came and said like
no one came. Come home. Nobody came, and it was actually I was really great friends with Philando Castile's aunts. Uh-huh. They were my best friends growing up. Yeah. We all stayed in the McDonough projects in Minnesota, St. Paul, but. So my mind is all. So I had to pretty much raise myself. Yeah. I wasn't like raised in this great, mommy and daddy. My father is a drummer, and my father was a drug addict, chemically dependent heroin. But played with everybody. So Dominoes. He played with Ray Charles. He played with Dizzy Gillespie. He's played with everybody. My mother was a dancer, but she was a stay-home mom too at the same time. So I ended up, I had to be survival mode for the last 30-something years. I've been in survival mode.
It's exhausting.
And it's exhausting.
Yeah.
And now it's like being at a place in my life where, I've got the hand of God with me, and I am a praying woman who loves the Lord and who is in faith, and he has kept my situation stable, and has blessed me. I mean, I get doors open that it's like, how did that happen? So, I mean, I was built for the whole entertainment thing. I married a big entertainer, and we had kids, and, so one thing I'm a fighter. Yeah. So I know how to go in if I have to. But I'd rather just lay back and be peaceful.
Watch Wendy.
Yeah.
Get under the covers and just like.
But.
Going back to what you were saying about you get this record deal and you're like 17, 18 years old. You're really, really young. And
so I'm really young. I have no clue how to live. Mm-hmm. I'm thinking I'm getting all this money from my deal, right?
Yeah.
I think the whole Warner Brothers deal was probably about $40,000.
Okay.
That check went to one hand. They my manager's just like, oh, we want to take you to Roy's in LA. I'll go. I'm thinking, oh, there's going to be A&R guys there from Warner Brothers and all these people, and it's my manager, his lawyer, and my other manager, and they're sitting there with a check, and they're like, oh, yeah. I'm like, oh, wow, I'm looking at the check. They said, yeah, sign that over. And so I think that was and I didn't understand the business. I didn't know how to read contracts. You know what I mean? I was all about the music and the singing, which most artists have a hard time. They're a lot smarter now. But back in the 70s and 80s, like all the boy bands, I mean, most of these guy bands now are suing from the 70s.
Like saying where is all
of
it? Like like the guy who's complaining about P. Diddy. Just recently was saying oh my goodness, you took all of my publishing, you took all of my this, you took all of my that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the sad thing is that it's game on in this business. Yeah. It's not like we're babysitting you.
Yeah. No. It's doggy talk. It's look, this is what it is.
Yeah. You have to know your business, and you should be reading your contracts at all times. You should know your publishing. You should know your rights. You should know your royalty points. You need to know what a manager really is supposed to do, what a road manager does, the crew does.
Totally.
I mean, all of that stuff.
Although I will say, in your defense and in the defense of a lot of folks who are now suing, there are people.
I'm not suing you.
Well, not you, but I'm just saying, people who signed deals long ago are in a different time, right? We're in a different time to where, as an independent artist, you can build your way and make money in a way that you couldn't once upon a time. When you signed your record deal, there was only a handful of ways to get your music to the public.
Exactly. I mean, and that was the only machine.
And it's you either want it or you don't.
You don't. And I just went for it because I had nothing else to lose. What do you got to lose, Sue Ann? You're young and, you don't have anything. So make yourself of something.
Totally.
You know what I mean? But it's kind of sad today in a sense, but it's exciting at the same time because, YouTube is wide open.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's not like it was special back in the 80s when we were having deals, the Temptations, Shaka Khan. I mean, we didn't all been through hell and back. I mean, so I mean, for me to still be doing things and still be moving and singing and doing the things that I do has been a true blessing, man. You know, I mean, I can't do nothing but give glory to God for this, because that. I've always been on word of mouth.
Yeah.
People are like, well, how did you do that? I have met everybody in the business that you could ever meet.
Yeah.
And not just meet them, but have relationships with them.
So who's the worst person in the world that you know that you'll admit to live on air?
All of them were great.
Oh, come on. There has to be one that you're like, that SOB. Let me tell you, if I ever see that mofo walking across paradise, I am going to put my foot really hard on the gas and run over them like a bump.
Well, there were one. I worked with a few.
I'm not gonna put you on the spot like that.
No, I'll tell you.
Okay.
Well, I'll tell you this. One was Carole King.
Yeah.
And I worked with her, and it was a disaster.
How so?
Well, I mean, she wanted me to perform something that was not possible on your keyboards. She wanted a note that was just not on the keyboard. And I kept telling her, can you play me no, you just sing this note. I was like, even Lord Jesus in heaven didn't create that note. Minnie Riperton couldn't do that note, or Mariah, or Shawnee's, or anybody could do this note that you want me to do. And so it became like kind of, I never will work with her again.
Yeah.
Because she was a little aggressive and not respectful.
Yeah.
And my thing is that I'm not your fan.
Right.
You hired me.
You're here to do a job. I'm here to do a job. Yeah.
So, but from working with people like Whitney, Brandy, Mary, Patti LaBelle, people like that, total respect.
Yeah.
When I walk in, it was like they treated me better than, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, totally.
They didn't treat, I didn't, it's business for me. Mm-hmm. So nothing really surprises me when I meet, go see such and such. I'm like, I already worked with them. I know that,
yeah, I know what I expect. Yeah.
I've worked with a lot of beautiful people. Most of those artists are just people like me and you know what I'm saying? Go through changes, have kids, husbands, and dealing and fighting with their record companies about what single they should put,
Yeah.
But the wonderful thing is that I've had such a great time working on a lot of hit records.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just a blessing to walk into a store like right now.
And you're like, oh,
and I'm singing even, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just going into the grocery store, be like, oh, I arranged that. Yeah. You kind of almost want to go up to the cashier and say, hey, lady. I did that. They're like, yeah, right.
Paper or plastic?
Yeah, right. So, and that would be a quarter for that plastic.
Oh, my God. That just happened in New York. They just finally have to now pay for plastic bags. And it's so funny because when I moved to L.A. from New York, LA had already done it, and I thought it was so stupid. And I still, to this day, I steal plastic bags.
Nice.
That's like my thing.
Yeah.
Like, I steal plastic bags because I think it's the stupidest thing in the world.
Gotcha.
But it's so funny now because now you watch, like, people in New York are talking like, this is ridiculous. I can't believe it. And it's like, oh, been there, done that.
Right. Exactly. It's like when I went to D.C., they were charging for bags, and I was like, hey, wait a minute. I charge for bags? It was just like...
But what's so stupid about it? From what I understand, like in LA, I don't know about DC, and I don't know how they're doing it in New York, but I don't think that actually that bag extra charge that you pay actually goes to a tax. I think that the retailer gets to keep that.
You think
which
so?
makes it even stupider,
right,
as far as I'm concerned.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Well, so much for the bags.
So much for the bags.
We just have to create our own bags.
So much.
The Jordan bags.
The Jordan bags.
See what I mean?
The Jordan,
Showtime.
See? Showtime
Yes.
bag. We need Showtime bags.
Exactly.
Okay, so I am going to lobby to implement the bag tax here in Las Vegas.
There you go.
On the condition that everyone has to buy a Jordan Showtime bag.
Yeah. I would do that. I mean, you're so
I'm doing it for the environment.
I love
and it's for the
you.
environment.
Yeah,
it's for the birds.
environment.
It's for the
Yeah.
birds. It's for the birds.
Yeah.
Going back to, I've always wondered this, and I've never asked you this. So, like, because you've had two major label deals. You had your deal with Warner, and you had your deal with MCA. Mm-hmm. What was the difference in your experience with each of those organizations, with each of those companies? Or was there a difference, or did you feel like one got you more than the other, or did you feel like, what was your experience between the two?
Being with Warner Brothers, I was very young, so when you're young, you should have some guidance, and the managers that I had guided it. The only thing they would always tell me is, like I went to etiquette school.
Mm-hmm.
They took me through.
Did you graduate?
Of course. That's why I'm so professional right now.
I'm just teasing.
Yeah,
you,
they
Lila.
took me through etiquette school. I had to learn how to. I mean, it was. I had to learn how to talk and.
At Warner Brothers, you're talking, or
This was before I got
this
the
before
deal.
that.
They
Okay,
were
got it.
grooming me,
Got it.
and but I didn't have a lot of personal in relationships at Warner Brothers. My managers did all that.
Got it.
They just wanted me. We just want you to smile and just say yes to everything.
Got it.
I was
Bet
like,
they
okay.
did.
Versus, as I got a little older and started learning the business and then because I left as soon as I was, but I wanted to be dropped from Warner Brothers because I didn't want to work with the management. I didn't want to, I couldn't do what I wanted to do. Like my first album, I had an option to work with George Duke, Earth, Wind and Fire, Maurice White, and a few other big name artists to produce the record. But they wanted me to have like this guy, Pete Bellotti, who is in relation with Giorgio Moroder, who did Scarface and used to do Donna Summers. So the first record that I did kind of sounds kind of robotic and Donna Summer-ish.
Right.
And the only song on there was a song called Company. It was Ricky Lee Jones, which did very well, which people play all around the world on the radio at night. When I go home, I got to sing this song, even today. We're talking 50 years ago. But with MCA, it was a lot more like family. The guy, Lil Silas, who signed me, and Gerald Busby, I had more input into what I wanted to do.
Right.
But the only problem was they didn't know what to do with me. And the reason why they didn't know what to do with me because I could sing everything.
Right.
So.
And when was this? What time?
This was like 86, 87. The first record on MCA came out. So they just wanted me to have a bunch of badass producers.
Right.
So I had like Robert Brookins and.
I feel like that in that time period, I feel like there was a lot of overproduced albums in that, like where it's just like it does. It's like it's not good because it's just like it's like okay, here's Rod Temperton, and it's just like okay, but this is just
right.
There's like no soul to it because
soul.
Because it's just so overly produced.
Right, and then Jesse Johnson produced half of the record. And I had a lot of input into the record, but I still didn't really. No, I just wanted a funky record.
Yeah.
Did
you know what that meant though? Like at that time where you like to say like I want a funky record, to say that, but like did you like have like a clear idea of okay, this is what I want my sound to be, or had you not figured that out yet? And was that part of the issue?
Yeah and no. I wanted a funky record, but I really wanted that company MCA to take me and groom me into a star artist.
Right.
And they didn't do that.
Right.
Instead, they just kind of pushed me to the side, and let me do this funky record, whoever I wanted. And then they paid attention to more of the other artists like Pebs and Jody Watley. They had a one set sound. So they were easy to kind of
like they just kind of like could slot them in and put them into the machine.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then it's payola and money and who you bring in, and you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
And but at the end of that ride, the second album, it just kind of was kind of a disaster because after I finished the first album on MCA, when I got to the second album, everything stopped. Like MCA was being, I think, bought by Motown. And it was a whirlwind. Gerald Busby was leaving. They were bringing in somebody else, and usually when they bring in a new president, new A&R guy, they're like, all of the old, get rid of them.
Yeah.
And so it pretty much came to an end where I just asked them to release me.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't want to be, Plus, I was pregnant.
Oh, see, no. Kids ruin everything. All of a sudden,
I didn't tell nobody. When I did my 7 Days, 7 Nights video, I was pregnant and didn't tell the record. I was scared. I was like, oh God, I'm pregnant. And it was just like, I need to have the baby. I'm not getting no abortion.
Yeah.
Behind this, it's time to grow up now.
Yeah.
So, I got released out of the contract, had my baby, thank God. Her name is Paisley. Shout out to my baby girl. And Nina Pooh. which is Nina J. Has a record out.
You had your baby. You
Had my
released out of your
baby.
contract.
Didn't have wasn't with Warner Brothers no more. And then I was like, okay, Lord, I need you to bust the door open for me. You know, whatever I want, but I want to do something in music. Anything that I was doing, I don't want to do nothing else. You know, I'm like, what kind of job can I get that's going to like, I don't even know how to communicate, you know, with jobs. You know, it's hard, you know. And the next thing you knew, I had met Diane Warren in her top floor of her building. But no, I was working doing demos for like people around LA. But I didn't even know how good I was. I was giving them arrangements and ad libs and blah 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 blah. And, you know, and I didn't know that you had to get paid for that too. You know, and so they'd come out with a whole full beautiful song, these demos, and get them placed. And I'd be like, I sung on there. I didn't even get compensated for that. Long story short, you know, I had a couple of old girls that, you know, Alex Brown was my mentor that put me down. She was like, you shouldn't do all of this. You need to get paid for this. You're worth this. You need to go in there. You're looking like a slob when you're doing sessions. You need to be, you know, I was going in there with jeans and stuff on, you know, still breastfeeding and everything. But she hit me to the game of really how to be, you know, how to do this thing.
Yeah.
And once I got it, I don't know what happened, but I just happened to go up and see a friend of mine at a building in L.A., and I see this chick running across the thing going into her gym. And my friend said, Diane, come here. I want to introduce Jimmy Randolph. His name was. He produced my last album. She said she didn't even want to know my name. She said, oh, Diane, this is, do you sing? And I looked at Jimmy like really in shock. And I said, yeah. I said, can you be at my studio tomorrow, Banana Boat? I was like, and Jimmy said, yeah, she can be there. So when I got to Banana Boat, she was there, and I just didn't know how she was. And she was a little, you know, I love her because she's a bold, little feisty thing.
Yeah.
More, and I love Di. So when I walked into the studio, I'm seeing this big board. These, you know, I was like, oh, God, this is home. You know, I didn't know that it was going to start going a whole different direction.
Yeah.
And she says, yeah, I got this song. I'm doing it for this artist. You know, she needs a freaking hit. She ain't had a hit. You know, Diane's she needs a hit. And I'm looking at her like, okay. So she gives me the song. I go behind the thing, you know, put my headphones on. And I start to sing this song. And as I'm singing this song, I just cried because it was so beautiful.
Will you sing some of it for us?
Anyway. Let me finish. So I'm sitting here singing this song. For all those times you stood by me. For all the truth that you made me see. For all the joy you brought to my life. I'm starting to sing the song and I'm booing. I'm going crying and I'm going, oh. And then she said it's for an artist named Celine Dion. I was like, what? I know Celine Dion. So, I mean, I put so much effort into that song. I must have tried to beat that song down so she couldn't sing it. She copied every lick I did. Like she did not change the lead at all.
You should go for her for some of her Caesar's money.
Yeah. I still get money. I get money from that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I would imagine because that song is still around.
Yeah.
Like you'll be like in the Macy's and like it'll come on.
It's been 20 years ago, and I'm blessed, you know. But and I do this song, and then I did all this arrangement. This was just the demo.
Right.
She liked the song. I hired like some friends of mine from LA, some really incredible singers, and had them come, 12 singers, and we did it, I think Enterprise or something. David Foster produced it.
Yeah.
And David said, get 12 singers, let's do this. So I went in with the 12 singers, arranged it. Her voice was already on it. I sung the harmonies on, rest is history. Finished it. So it's like when I go in stores, I can hear me so loudly. David Foster he just would pull me up. He would call me the exterminator. I don't need other singers. I just bring her in. I can bring Sue Ann in. So from there on in, the list just went down. It just went on from Brandy to.
So working for Diane like that, like what was it? Because you were like her go-to. Like was it like a job? Like you'd report to her office at 9, you'd sing until 11, go to lunch. You'd be like, oh my God, the boss is such a slave driver, and then go back to work and then leave at 5.
Well, I think that she's competitive in a sense with herself.
Yeah.
Like, so she ran that ship like a business.
Yeah.
It was, but it was loose it was like comfortable at the same time. Like once she trusted me, she didn't have to be in the room.
Right.
Because she knew that I knew all her notes and all her little things.
Like the things that she liked, that
she would like in her background. So she put a full trust in Sue Ann. So every song that you hear that's out really came from the trust of her letting me do the arrangements and things like that.
Yeah.
I didn't write anything on the leads, or anything like that. But that's her, it's her song, real songs. So, but it was such a great joy to do it because I ended up being like so fast doing backgrounds and getting stuff done. So people were just calling me from everywhere.
Yeah.
But my main, whole session thing was Diane, David. I never had to. And she's the one that.
Well, but especially at that time period, like who else would there have been to work with?
Well,
there
were a lot of great.
There were, but I mean, like
Franny Goldie. We had a lot of great people, but
but I mean, like at that time period, in terms of like who's like dominating the charts as far as songwriters and producers, like if those are the two people, Diane Warren and David Foster, who you were primarily working for in that time period, like who.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like I'm driving a Rolls Royce. Yeah. Like, okay, let's hang out in Mazdas every now and then.
It got to a point where, then it became, I started doing movies, I went into the whole movie thing and started doing like 50 movies, voiceovers and things like that. And then, so it was a great experience because I was just able to perfect my voice and make it do whatever I wanted to do.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
Totally.
And so, and I always thought I'm going to always be competitive with myself. But it's like now, now that I'm like at a particular age, I'm just like at peace. It's like, girl, you can have it. I don't even have to. I don't really have to do this competitive proving thing.
Yeah.
You feel what I'm saying?
100%.
Because I can still do stuff and go hustle and get what
Yeah.
And so it's the experience. I've experienced a lot.
Yeah. Like
so much. I mean, it would take, how much time you got? How many days? I've met some incredible artists and that's all I've met.
Yeah. Do you have from that time period of all the songs that you worked on, do you have like a song that's like that one song that you're like, oh my goodness, I still like if it happens to come on television or if it happens to come on where you're just like, oh, that like takes you back to a certain time or it takes you,
There's a few, but one of my main ones is the Whitney Houston, The Strength in Me. When I did the demo, it's like, I'll put that on, man, and just start crying.
Yeah. We have a minute.
But I think the best one is Celine Dion. That's Because You Love Me.
That's so crazy, though, because you kind of started at the top then. It's like, we have nowhere to go but down.
Right. It's like, I did it all. And let me just note that I was more of a household name than being a star.
Totally.
You know what I mean? Like, I have clout in the industry.
Yeah.
And I have fans from different, but my whole success thing has been inside.
Yeah.
You know.
And that's the way to be. You're truly what they call a singer's singer, right? You know, you're a singer's singer. Well, thank you for coming to join us.
Jordan, I had such a great time.
So did I. You have to come back again.
Yes, I will. And I'll look a lot more better. It's just kind of it's cold. I just want to get back in bed.
So what do you have coming up? We have only a few seconds left, but just tell me, what do you want to? I know you guys have some dates coming up. Tell us, where are we coming?
This Friday, Saturday, we are at the Rampart Casino, Treasure and Dream Zone. Want y'all to come out. I think it's either 9 to 1 or 8, but I'll put a flyer up. I'll have you put a flyer up.
All right, cool, absolutely.
And so that's Friday and Saturday, and then I can't even think.
And
of
then
it.
you can't. Well, that's
The
okay. I'll let them
calendar's
know.
booked,
I'll
trust
be
me.
there. I'll be Instagramming.
Yes.
Well, thank you, Sue, and I
Thank
love you
you.
very, very much. And
Love
thank
you,
you
Jordan.
all for listening. It's been another week of Showtime with Jordan Van Haslow and friends, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye. Jesus.